Hey guys, welcome back, welcome back. Let's turn that down a bunch. Ooh, hello. No, come on. There we go. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back. John Megacycle here, an episode of Minecraft, and it's been a while since I've done a bit of Minecraft stuff. This is actually a server for the Monster 1.64. How do I figure that out? Yeah, Minecraft 164. This is a Minecraft monster server that Spektral built a while ago. He rented some server space and he got this going on. He wanted to try out some different mod packs aside from the D20 pack that I was playing with the Motley Crafters. So he went ahead and got this rented up, and I've been playing it for a little bit. And since 1.7 is soon to come out, it's time to decommission this bad boy. Oh, I'm in creative mode. He gave me creative mode rights so I could at least navigate and see what's going on. So I should actually start outside. And it's nighttime. Yeah, he was in here a little bit too. Is it 0? It's not 0. Time set 0? No, alright. Set time 0? Hang on. You know what? I have a better idea for this. Dink. I don't know why I just didn't do that. Anyway, welcome to Sanctuary. This is Sanctuary, as I mentioned, on Spectral's monster server. We started off really simple, the way I like to start. You know what? I have to change my maps. It's driving me absolutely crazy. Thank you. Holy cow. I had two map plugins installed, overriding each other. That was why that was flashing. Anyhow, we got started on this server. It was just a couple of guys while we were waiting for 1.7 to come out. And like I said, Spectral just wanted to try something new. He rented the server space. We had some fun with it. Started off, as always, like I like to start off, with Sanctuary. Really simple. I think I even called the structure Humble Beginnings, which is what, yep. Humble Beginnings. And I keep hitting that button like crazy because I've been playing too much Borderlands or whatever. We started off real easy. A couple of storage chests, a couple of furnaces, some barrels for some quick storage, real nice and visible so anyone could come in. And I think this was mostly just mining down there. Let's just take a quick gander. It's been a while since I've been on. Yeah, I think this was mostly mining. So when Spectral started up the game, he and a couple of other guys just went off. Yeah, it's all the way to bedrock. Oh, I keep hitting E. He and a couple of the guys just went off and built their own bases, so I came in a little late to the party, and I was like, why don't we have like an HQ? You know, I always like building a bit of a community space. That way you can get started a lot faster. You're not running to one dude's base for blaze rods, or someone else's bases for slime, or someone else's base for lumber. We got a lot of the necessities right here. We got sugar, we got shelter, we've got all the berries, except blackberries, carrots, potatoes, wheat, barley? Oh, I'm in creative mode, that's right. Yeah, barley, okay. Keep forgetting what that stuff's called. We have some of these essence crops. I still have no idea how to use them. Probably for the best. So we got the bare minimum here going on. A very simple path. Spectral cheated in some of these golems, or he built them. I don't understand Thancraft, so whenever someone says, oh yeah, I can turn something into something else, I just assume it's cheating. But we have these. They have the protector. I can't crouch low enough. They have the protector gem in them, so what they'll do is when there's an enemy mob, they'll just beat the crap out of them. And actually, since I'm in creative mode, let me just entertain you for a second here. I want something that doesn't combust immediately. Spider should be fine. Oh, skeleton, perfect. Yeah, they just go roadhouse on them. So this was a really cool security system that Spectral worked on to get started, so I went ahead, torched up the place, made it look kind of nice, and we were really experimenting with this mod pack. This is Chisel, and the neat thing about it is you can really change the texture of a lot of blocks, and if you're not familiar with it, I'll show you really quick. You take the chisel, and you can put something in here, and apparently grass blocks are not cool, but stone bricks, you have a lot of different patterns, etching styles, a lot of cool stuff with it, and with a very simple material, you can really change the way it looks. So these were these stone bricks, but I went and I changed it. Yeah, you can change them to mossy and give them a lot of really cool look and style. See, that gives it a completely different look if you're just using these things, but we didn't have that. We didn't even know about it when we started building this stuff, so kind of kept the place light. Moving on, I've got my traditional guard towers here. I know I saw it on a Reddit one time. There's one in the distance down there. But they look really cool to me, so I build them every single time I have a base. So the idea behind it is you got someone up here look out for invading vessels or enemy armies coming across across the horizon, ready to attack Sanctuary or your base, and it kind of gives it a nice cheap, well, cheap isn't inexpensive, a fairly inexpensive, kind of cool military look to the place. I like it, and I usually build one or two of them. Moving on, we've got a Tinker's Construct hut, again, trying to keep with the simple architectural theme, but wanted it to be very functional for anyone that wanted to come in. We have a very nice smeltery here, nothing in it. I put a bunch of lava tanks here to make sure these things were pumping and fresh, so that way anyone wanted to go do a little exploring, come back, be able to come back here, smelt down your goods, double up your ores, or start working with whatever, and you should be good to go. Looks like that didn't finish properly, so let's replace that. Looked like someone was making clear glass, and the mixture spilled in between the two. Let's get that out of my inventory. Aside from that, a little bit of tutorial area. This is a thing I created with a bunch of the ore berries, the essence berries, and that sort of a thing. Trying to get someone started if they wanted sear bricks to make their own. Reference materials are here. Oh, crap. I'll fix that later. I keep forgetting I'm in creative mode. It's kind of rare I'm in creative mode. So with that, you can punch this down, use the reading material, and put it back. That way we always have a copy here in Sanctuary. Now you can make these. These are able to be crafted with a recipe, but they were there real nice as a bit of reference material. Tinker tables, simple stuff here. Many of the recipes and templates. Then downstairs, a room I created for all the ore berries, since we were getting a lot of these things. And this is a lot of really cheap, good resources for anyone getting started. You can come down here, harvest it a couple of times, and before I keep talking, dink, back to noon. There we go. Map just lit up like a Christmas tree. Let's just get that out of there. Good resources all around, considering at the rate we were getting these things, you could get, what, 1 or 2 ingots out of this for free? It's pretty nice, especially if you're starting off. You just need 1 more ingot to finish something. Now, here's the Tinker's Hut. Not much to say about it. Again, keeping a really light theme. I was really having fun putting these little crafting tables in here because I actually really like the design of them. These are just crafting stations, so they're not crafting tables. These are with Tinker's Construct, but even the crafting tables themselves from original Minecraft really add a nice feel to it. I like it. So at the corner of some of these walkways, I've just put a little Tinker crafting station in there. This is the bee hut. Oh, that's right. I got so many of these stupid bees, I was just dumping them off here with my quarry system and everything else. So this is if anyone wanted to start bees. And the thing is, I think what happens is if a bee hive is destroyed, it just gives rocky princesses. It doesn't give you a whole lot of variety. So yeah, I've just got all these rockies. Bees never interested me. A little too complicated for my taste. Not that I need it simple, but machines are just always so much more reliable and simple for anyone to grasp. I like them a lot better. Let's see. These are the billboards we created. Spawn rules and guidelines. Pranks are welcome, nothing destructive to base or players. Oh, it goes down. Nothing destructive to bases or players. No stealing from any players. And don't be a dick. Rules to live by, really. This was our first... I don't know what this is called. Oh, it's a rainbow tree. I keep calling it a Technicolor tree, like maybe Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, but this is where we got a lot of dyes and saplings, and then we went ahead and created a bit of an orchard here, which I thought is really nice. This is a really cool mod pack, and then rubber trees, of course. This was a really cool mod pack to deal with just the extra dyes and colors. I really liked it. What the heck are you? A backpack. Huh. Wonder where that came from. Huh, no idea. Moving on. Our center, this is our, what, town hall? Town Square Enix, that's right. Oh, I remember that joke. Square Enix is a company. Anyway, these happy little things, these crystals, what they do is you can harvest them. They're natural to the environment. And you find them and you harvest them, and then you can build these large potion crystals. And what they do is each of these gives a benefit. If you look on the left, I've got night vision, speed, haste, strength, saturation, jump boost, regeneration, resistance, fire resistance, water breathing, all kinds of, yeah, I can jump like crazy. Now the awesome thing about this is I've got a teleport book. I don't think it's this one, is it? No. I have a teleport book that brings me right to here. So if I know I'm going to go on a mining expedition or the nether or the end, whatever, pop here, just and you're off. And you're going and you got 5 minutes of awesome boosts. These are game breakers. Especially if you're using blood magic. If I'm familiar enough with blood magic, I'm not really, but what blood magic does is it takes your blood. I mean, really, you take damage in order to work with spells and casting componentry. But I think we've got a regeneration. I think this one's regeneration, and we have a saturation. I don't remember which one that is. But really, when you're thinking about it, you can take a ton of damage and heal it off pretty quick. Now, this is something that we were working on. This is the teleportation temple. Now, unfortunately, I don't know. I think it's Luna. I don't know the language, so I don't know why it isn't working at the moment. But we had the Direwolf teleport system here, and I say it's Direwolf system because that's the only place I've ever seen the video before. So it could be someone else's. I don't know. But it had little bars and it said to go to this person's base, click here, or this person's base, click here. So it was very simplistic and straightforward. It was really nice instead of having a bunch of tomes sitting around, which is how we've been doing it in the past. A little book stand and a tome just to get you to where you want to go. Cows, animals of all shapes and sizes. And the only other part of Sanctuary is someone jumped up this house, got this started. So I'm not going to give a huge tour as it's not my place, but fairly simple brick house. Make sure the big bad wolf doesn't show up considering it's brick. Oh, little farm in the back. Some bushes and berries and whatnot. Very cool. Storage, very nice. I like it. Can't complain too much. So this is Sanctuary. Again, we've kept it light, kept it simple, keep it kind of elegant, and this is really how I like to do it. If you have really huge beginning bases, then it kind of makes it difficult to want to expand on your own. Kind of, you know, if you want to do something new and everything's already done at the first base, you almost, some people might be a little discouraged about that. So with this one we kept it light, allowed everyone to expand off, and I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup and I will see you guys at my base. Whee! Another part of the base that I wanted to show you guys, it's not really actually part of the internals of my base, is this happy little thing. This is a little system that I was working on before and I really like the way it finished up. Now I should probably get this actually appropriate. Now what happens with this is, let me explain. We have, let's clean up the inventory a little bit. What we have at its very base are these generators from Extra Utilities called solar generators. They have two modes. When the sun is out, they will produce energy. That's it. To activate the other mode, you need to apply a redstone signal to it to discharge it. Otherwise, it's always just going to hold the battery and keep charging more energy. So what I've done is, I built a solar detector here, daylight sensor, and what it does is it pushes a certain amount of signal based on the time of day. When it's the daytime, they produce a full signal. The signal is reversed with this little setup here using the redstone, and there's no signal attached, meaning the generators are producing energy. Now they're not right now, and I'll show you why in a second. When it's dark, and let's just make it dark real quick, midnight's fine. There's no signal or little to no signal being pushed. So the redstone torches are active. Now these things are actively discharging. What that gives me is it gives me about a 12-hour, 10-hour, depending on how you do the spacing, ability to produce whatever you want using energy. So what I really have here is I have two lava fabricators linked up to this little contraption and this tesseract that sends fluid. What I've really produced here with not a ton of resources is infinite lava. Now, not a lot of resources, I'm kind of talking mid-end game kind of stuff. But what this allows you to do is allows you to produce lava at no cost to you. It's all solar. It's redstone. It's a couple lava fabricators, so you will have to go to the nether for blaze rods, I believe is what you need for lava fabs. But this is really nice. I like this system. You could pump this energy directly into the Tesseract and then pipe that energy anywhere you want, and then you just have free energy throughout the day. But this keeps more energy generation out of my base, and it keeps it more modular. So the nice thing is anyone can tap into this. It's no big deal. The way I have it structured is this goes outside of my coal power plants with the redstone or the steam dynamos. So this is extra stuff anyone can tap into. So it's not a ton of energy, but it comes nice and in handy. So it was discharging during the night. It's charging now during the day. So that's how that works. Now the reason why they're not charging anything right now, and is this one charging anything? Nope. Is because I built this thing in a really weird spot. I got a little bored. I built an angel block and then I siloed up pretty darn high. Then I started working on this. This is my sky temple. It looks fairly simplistic, but I really like how it looks. Fairly straightforward. It just was going to be like a little meditation area. So like kind of a, I want to work on a little mini project without having to start anything big. Now I have a book that teleports right here, and I didn't even finish it, but I got pretty far with it. All the internal lighting I believe is good, that it won't spawn any baddies. Oh, there's a block that might. Aside from that, fairly straightforward. Again, this was just stone, and I used a lot of chisel. The chisel, as I mentioned earlier, it's this happy guy that changes the look of an object, even though it's all stone. So this is stone brick, this is stone bricks. It doesn't change the damage reduction, it doesn't change the explosive resistance, or anything. It's just a nice look and feel change to it. Yeah, so if I wasn't an idiot and built it right on top of my solar power plants, they'd actually be producing energy. But, again, I didn't think. Again, these are two little projects that I thought were nice to get away from the actual base. Now here's where I warp in from Sanctuary. I actually found a book that I had publicly. Now my actual base is in between all these trees, through a bit of the thicket. I kind of built it up so you'd have to actually try to find it. And this is my base. Yeah, it might sound a little weird, but we're just gonna walk right through the wall. Meow. Stone Illusion. That's a really interesting mod pack. You can take, I believe it's an ender pearl, and any object you can disguise it to look like something else. So it's just an illusion. You can just walk through it. But, I mean, it's a little obvious this is an entrance. But people that are unfamiliar with the mod pack might not know. I was starting to work with these spike traps. These are a lot of fun too. They just take a redstone signal, so a lever, a button, pressure plate, any of that stuff will work, and it triggers the trap. I'll show you these a little bit later. Entrance to the base, glowstone, pillars. I measured it all out. It's all even on each side. Oh yeah, this is a cave crystal organically. So this is exactly how you'd find it. It only gives you about 10 seconds. I believe I used a silk touch pick to actually hit that up. So this is what it'll do. What you should do is you break it up, and then you take, I believe, 5 of these crystal shards, and then you build a new base for it, and then that'll turn into the 5-minute ones we have back at Sanctuary. Enderman cow trophy. Not much to say about this first floor. Tried to do something artistic with it. I like the flowing water. The water is always such a nice calming element in any kind of a base. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're 10 blocks, you know, above ground, like above bedrock, or if you're high in the sky. Water is always a nice touch. Let's just go upstairs first. Cleared out some room. This was an experimentation area. I was trying to work with Steve's carts. I got nothing here now, but it was nice to work with. And then this very top one is my bed. Of course, a magnum torch to make sure no baddies show up. A couple of rooms and actually worlds to teleport to. Oh, excuse the language on that one. This is what actually will take me to the crystals. And then I have a solar array upstairs that'll take me to the teleport temple back in Sanctuary, and this is just an age I was kicking around. So not too much to say here. Well, let's get right to the actual meat and potatoes of the base. Enchanting area, yeah, this is where all the machines and stuff are. Now, the interesting thing is, somewhere in between now and where we were when the base was functional, the server actually overwrote some of the chunks. And you'll take a look in the upper right where we have the coordinates under the minimap. It dances between -1 and 0, right where it hits 0, and I believe, oops, wrong button. This is on the z-axis. Yeah, everything that's +0 and higher was all rewritten and overwritten with original chunks. So what I actually had all the way, actually I don't need that. What I actually had all the way over here was a barrel storage room, and a lot of my furnaces, pulverizers, and processors were over here. But I don't have any of that anymore. Server overwrote my junk. Little song there. So this is going to be kind of simplistic of a tour. What we have here to start the whole thing off, steam dynamos. That's what powers my base. I like steam dynamos. It's very simple to manage. All you need is charcoal. Again, lumber, charcoal goes right into the steam dynamo. Then of course some water to keep the whole thing going. And let me show you some of the actual mechanics. I have a second room below where those steam dynamos are, and these are actually furnace generators. These work on the same principle. I believe you just put charcoal in there. Yeah, charcoal, coal, any real fuel source I believe goes in there, and this will produce energy. So this produced all my RF, and sorry for the noise about the harvesters, but this produced all the RF I needed to power my whole base. I didn't go oil to produce fuel. I think you can use bees as a form of energy. I didn't do a whole lot. So for the powering of the base itself, the ME system and most of the machines, that's all I used. Here's our assembler for the ME system. Get a torch over there. And then here's the main heart and soul of the ME system. We have our pattern encoder, partition editor, of course our drives, and this was actually really neat, fluid terminal. This was different from the Direwolf 1.6 pack that I was playing, but you can actually store fluid on hard drives. So that made this really simple to hold a ton of extra liquid just out of the way instead of having to use railcraft and a bunch of materials to really get that going. So that was really cool. Here's my Steve's carts. I just built a really simple cart system. This is netherwort. And instead of doing Thaumcraft golems to harvest, yeah, he's full up and he's out of fuel, that's why. This was a really easy way for me to get a lot of netherwort very quickly, and I was using it for biorefineries and biofuel as an experimentation. And I was using it for my laser drill, and I'll show you that in a minute. But that was a really handy way to get a bunch of these resources very quick. And of course, very quick, I mean I didn't have to use Thaumcraft. It was a little resource intensive, and it does use charcoal. Again, that's why it's out of service, because I'm out of charcoal. But it was really cool to see that going on. Aside from that, I've got a few other systems here. This is a tank of liquid experience points, which was nice with a little XP grade here. And then these are fluid export buses, and then under this is a fluid import bus. So the same export import system you'd use with the ME system for physical objects, you do the same thing with liquid. And now this gets a little confusing. What I have is I have a tesseract back there, a chest next to it to accept items. Then I have two tanks right next to it, an oil and a lava, and these are all imports. So in a different location I'm actually producing lava, and I was harvesting oil. Those things come here and then they get dumped into the ME system. Now the trick is, if you just have one of these blocks, the object will be overwritten because you'll actually pump all the oil out of it. But since this is the block that's this is the block that's receiving the resource, and this is the block that's being pulled, this will be empty, and this will always have 1 millibucket. So when the tesseract says, hey, I'm getting lava, where do I put it? It doesn't put it with the oil bin, it puts it with the lava bin. So you need at least 2 of these to make sure that you've marked and identified it. Otherwise, you can have the tesseract give you liquid. It's just trying to keep it apart that was the issue. For me, anyhow. So, fairly straightforward here. We have our energy generation. Outputs through the conduits into some batteries, or energy cells, I keep calling them batteries, and then that gets output through the tesseract out to wherever it needs to go, and then wiring throughout, and then the machines. Now, aside from the enchanting and the nether portal, on this floor I also had an actual generator or a reactor. These things are awesome. These are big reactors mod pack. What I've got this doing exclusively is, well, I believe I have a cyanide compressor as well. Yeah. What this is doing is this is powering a redstone or a resonant energy cell into a tesseract. This tesseract is sending energy somewhere else, and I'll show you where, but if I'm not using that method, I'm actually using it for mass fabrication, and that's what this all is. Now, to be really lazy, what I did, instead of actually generating EU, excuse me, I just took RF and I converted it. These are power converters. This is a separate mod pack as well. You can take RF as an RF consumer, an energy bridge, and then an EU high voltage producer. So it'll actually take your one form of energy, transform it into a different one, and make it digestible to the other systems that are expecting that form of energy. It's actually very nice. I'm not too sure how much of a loss there is, but I was just so fed up. I didn't want to do high voltage solars or hybrid solars or anything like that. I just really wanted to stick with RF, and this is what made it work. So we've got our scanners, our recyclers, mass fabs, pattern storage, and then the replicator itself. And then the even neater thing is this is actually fluid importing it all the way back into our system and then exporting it back out. So there's no tank systems, there's nothing that's really holding a lot of liquids. It's all ME and it's all compact. These are all igneous extruders to produce cobblestone, and then that cobblestone is actually used by these recyclers. So I don't have them on now. I'm pretty sure I'm sitting on a few million cobblestone. And let's just do that real quick because nighttime drives me crazy. Did I get the right one? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that takes care of that real nice. And then what I did as a nice touch, I put a couple of crafting terminals in the floor, and then I did all the wiring exposed like this. Yeah, and you can see reinforcing what I said. This was another room I had. This was for my tinker room. This was my tinker smeltery, and these chunks just got overwritten. Is this 0? Yeah, -1 0, -1 0. Yeah, that's really frustrating. Yeah, and the thing is, I thought originally I was being pranked, and then I saw a couple of spots where it was, and then when I started digging like this and I realized, oh wait, nothing is back here, then I knew it was just a server glitch. And I confirmed it with Spektral not long ago that, yeah, one of the backups, something happened, it got silly, and then we're back to here. Really odd explanation, but that's what we'll do. So, I've showed you this floor, most of our machinery. Let's go check out other floors. This floor is, so if the top floor that we were just at is mostly fabrication and mass production of product, this is where all the product comes from. So that's really how my brain separates it. You've got one floor to produce items, one floor to consume and change it into something else. So here all through the ME system we have planters and harvesters. This is going to give me seeds and wheat. Very nice. It's going to be great for bioreactors, which, like I said, I was using before, but the chunks got overwritten. Put you guys in there. And then I've got a full 2 banks, and this, to further illustrate what got overwritten, this is the center point of this harvesting area. So if we come over here, if you take a look at this one just for reference, I think it's 7 in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. 7 in each direction. So over here was the center point of the second one. Right here. So 1, 2, derp. We're 5 squares off. And the audio just died. I don't know why that happens a lot on this mod pack, but it is. Oh. Just had to catch up. Okay. I take that back. Oh. I still stand by what I said. The audio does die on occasion. Every floor got our terminals, really straightforward. And then again, I exposed all the wire again. Here is a tesseract to ship mostly energy, I believe. Yeah, it looks like mostly energy. I think there's some items. I think there's an item hookup down there. But this was a lot easier than trying to run wires up and down in between floors. Grinder room, very simply. An auto spawner in the center. Grinder right here. Items are brought in. Not super elegant looking, but I like the way it looks. Oh yeah, then here's all the safari nets to get that started. And then this was something that was really handy. Spektral showed me how these things work. Let's just get in there. these signal terminals allow you to remotely control an item. In which case, what I was doing before is when I was needing, let's say, ender pearls, I would actually go in there, put in the safari net, and then run out as quickly as I could. Now I don't do that. I just flip the switch, and that works out real nice. Let's see if I don't even know what I have in there. It could either take a minute to boot up, or it could not work at all. And I'm going to say it doesn't work at all. Like I said, it's been a couple of months since we've been playing on this server, and it's going to be decommissioned soon to make way for the 1.7 server. Yeah, here was my cow killing area. No cows, just wall. But in all things considered, I'm very happy I have most of my base as opposed to a lot more of it missing. So anyway, that was cows. That's normal mobs. Quick sheep shear. I believe this is a rancher. Yeah. I didn't want it to get out of hand, so we just did 3 sheeps. We did a very simple amount of sheeps. I didn't want to sit on tons and tons of wool because I also don't want that filling up my hard drives. So there's that, and then, yeah, this was a mob spawn area. I actually used what's called a diamond dolly, and what you can do with that is you can actually move spawners. It's actually very handy early tech. Not that expensive, only a couple of diamonds and some iron, really. This hallway goes nowhere. I put a lot of these sound buffers in there because depending on how close you build the floors, the animals can get really annoying. Also the wood cutting, to be honest. Down another floor. This was my first laser drill. And there's quite a bit of componentry to this, but I can keep this really simple and short. When I started off, well, when you start off with the laser drill, you have the actual drill itself and 4 pre-chargers. What this really does is you generate energy into the pre-chargers. As you can see, the energy is bouncing up and down. These power the drill, and the drill produces an amount of work. When it hits the full amount of work, it'll produce one random, quote-unquote, random ore. Now, the randomness of it can be modified based on what kind of focuses or foci you have in here. When this hits 300, we'll actually look in here. Oh, we got the whole system backed up. Oh, I know why. Because the ender chest that's supposed to bring these minerals into my base was overwritten in the chunk. Dang it. But, just to prove, this thing can bring every single ore capable in the game. Everything from saltpeter to malachite to iron to yellowite, cadmium, everything. So this is a great way to get a ton of resources without having to go out there, and with the focuses, or foci, you can make it lean a little more. So the red ones make more redstone. I believe the cyan give me more yellowite or something, but that's a really nice way to get a good mix of resources. So we have our tesseract from the generator 2 floors up. We have furnace generators, which use coal, charcoal. We have ender generators, which use ender pearls. These are compression dynamos, which use fuel, and they're full up, so they're producing non-stop. Yep, there's the fuel. And again, no tanks, so it's really nice with these export buses. Magma crucible to produce redstone, and this is a heated redstone generator. I'm sure this always active. Okay, so I'm out of redstone. That makes sense there. Those produce a lot of energy, and then biofuel reactors I was experimenting with, again, same thing. Just kick it out, fluid export bus, there's our fuel, there you go. And then a ton of magmatic dynamos, and I'm tapped out of lava also. Oh my gosh, okay, all these things. Oh, and the survivalist generator. The survivalist generator produces very little amount of energy over a long period of time, whereas the furnace generator produces more energy in a shorter period of time. That's kind of how that works. All that combined is producing, I don't know, quite a few minerals, I'd say. Is there any redstone in here? Yeah, I'm going to need you. Silky. Doggone it. Okay. I'm going to need to get to work to get this base back online, but in all reality, we're going to be shifting gears anyhow. Now, what I really had here is I was experimenting with tanks. I never really worked with railcraft tanks before, but the problem is they're all destroyed. I don't need to use a pick. When you change one block about the railcraft tank, what'll happen is you can't interact with the insides anymore. So in order to get these back working, I'd have to rebuild them. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the contents actually are preserved until you mess with this, the valve. But I had this all pumping in and out and everything as well. I was experimenting with this before I actually worked with the applied energistics liquid storage. So I think what I really had was like UU matter, water, sewage, oil, and fuel. Yeah, there's UU matter. And this was before I really had enough materials to do a lot of applied energistics, because iron's almost infinite if you know how to get it. I mean, you can kill golems, you can get a lot of iron products trading with villagers, you can get a lot of these resources easily, but a lot of the materials you need for applied energistics were just a little harder to come by. And then down here, nothing. I thought I had another floor of... I guess not. That's okay. So I thought I had another floor for harvesting, but that's really about it. So this is my base. It was really simple, but I wanted to share it with you guys considering we were decommissioning the server, and this was something I was pretty proud of. I've got, you know, if you've seen me play at all before, you see that I've got it very organized, it's very functional oriented, and it's all separate. One part is logically separate from another part, which is logically separate from another part that totally got overwritten. Either way, everyone has their own styles, and it's cool to see how people build their bases and mature their landscape, and it's going to start raining the second I finish this dialogue. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Appreciate it. I hope to see you on the internets, the interwebs. Feel free, send me an email. Let me know what you think. Comment in YouTube and Twitter and that sort of a thing. Let me know what you think. And I will catch you guys next time.